Hey y'all, today we're going to put the old cover back on the shifter and all that, so let's get started. Okay, to get this thing on, it's a little bit of a trick here. I didn't have to pay that much attention, but now you kind of got to weave it and try not to mess up all the paint. Okay, so we're going back here, and we're going back with all new hardware. We're at now, and just kind of have a cleaner look to it. And I'm using all grade hardware here. All right, so we're going to take it off, drill it out. I'm going to open up that hole a little bit and put it back on. Okay, so we're back at it. And it's getting darker and darker and darker. Now it's opened up. Should be good to go. So these are all quarter 20s, except for this one up here, which originally was a quarter 20. But when I had to drill it out, got a little big. And so that is now a 5/16. So we're back, and we got them all in. And I'm just going to use a hand ratchet today to tighten them up, so I don't want to break off anything. And I just kind of feel like these are somewhat delicate. I don't know where to go. Nuts in here, because I had one fall off and it was a pain to deal with. So I'm just using a hand tool right now. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to use a power tape for everything. Oh, that's interesting. Not sure why that's sitting up like that, but it is. And so we will get it all tight. And it closed up pretty good. Now if that's supposed to have a gasket in there or not. So I want to tighten up all the 1/4 inch ones here. Get those all good. Night has fallen. Temperature's starting to drop. Now we're going to take care of that one. I'll tell you what, new hardware does look good. And then I got the knob up here, a footrest. It's as tight as this is gonna go. Alright, everything looks down. Alright, so there we go. Now, this goes on. I don't know when it's gotten hit, but I think it goes on like this. Alright, so it's the boot, and then the steel plate. Should fit down right on there. I had to trim the boot a little bit, the base of the boot, to get it to fit in the okay, so we're just gonna use a manual screwdriver, try to get that thing to kind of grab a little bit, but it wants to cross thread like nobody's business. Unfortunately, I can't really see what's going on. So we're just going to loosen those up a little bit. This is fairly tricky. I wouldn't have thought this step would be so tricky. But there seems to be a lot of stuff that's just takes finesse. Ended up bending that plate, so it was on 2 setting. Tightened up the paint. It'll be alright. Alright, we're just going to test them. Alright, next up is our transfer case. So you've got to kind of stretch this over both of them, and then it gets stuck. Isn't that lovely? And you just got to work it down. But it's not going down. Alright, so I put a little WD-40 on it this time. Alright. And it slid right down. And that's what you do. About good. Now we got our piece here. The raised piece goes towards the transmission, so just like that. And we then do the old find the hole dance. And now, last but not least, is the blind one. You just can't really see it. You gotta kind of just feel for it. And that's not in it. Sorry, I had to do that off camera. I just had to get my head somewhere where having the camera on top of my head wouldn't fit. So, we finally got it lined up. So we're just going to tighten that one up. Doesn't fit down in there. How do I know? From experience. That looks pretty good, actually. Starting to look like a Jeep, like it could run. Of course, we got to put the knobs back on. Hopefully I didn't mess up the threads too bad. That one's good. Alright, we got them. That one goes on this one, if I remember right. It probably doesn't really matter, but just for the sake of it. Consistency. There it is, folks. One transmission setup. Gotta say, I like the way it looks. Appreciate y'all watching. Y'all take care. I gotta clean up. It's past time for supper. I'm hungry. Take care, y'all.